Hello everyone, welcome to Literature Warriors. So here I'm going to continue the poem The Big Match 1983 from 4th stanza. Hope you have watched the first video, part 1. That means I have analyzed the first 3 stanzas of the poem. So let me now continue the rest of the poem. This is the 4th stanza. In a tall house dim with old books and pictures, calm hands quiet the clamoring telephone. It's a strange life we are leading here just now, not a dull moment. No one can complain of boredom, that's for sure. Up all night keeping watch, and then as curfew ends and your braille lands, dash out at dawn to start another day of fun and games and general jollity. I send Padmini and the girls to a neighbor's house. Who? Me? Oh, I'm doing fine. I always was a drinking man, you know, and nowadays I'm stepping up my intake quite a bit. The general idea being that when those tortures come within 50 feet of this house, don't you see, it won't be my books that go up first, but me. Well, so in this poem, in this stanza, you can see how the poetess refer to one individual person. The poetess has discovered the weaves of one individual, and all these, the rest of the poem goes with that individual personality. Well, so here you can see the tall house. Tall house refers to a place where the safety, you have enough safety there, and it's beyond reach. It's out of reach for the mobs who are destructive and vanishing everything. And old books and pictures. Now you can see this word old is quite significant because it suggests that generations have lived there. Generations have enjoyed these books and pictures, calm hands quiet, and the clamoring telephone. The clamoring telephone means the clamoring is the sound of the telephone, and also the telephone is always ringing, means that they had some relationships with neighbors, because always the telephone is ringing and relations, neighbors are talking through telephone. That's why. Well, and it's a strange life we are leading here just now. This is strange life. Is they have to be really frustrated. They cannot complain about anything because they have to bear up everything, every destructive thing that the mobs are doing due to ethnic clashes. Well, so this strange life means it's the pathetic condition of the civilians. Pathetic condition of the civilians. Well, and she says that's for sure. Sorry, then the other line, not a dull moment, no one can complain of boredom, that's for sure. No one can complain of boredom, that's for sure. So here, that's for sure means The violence is inevitable and it's definite. It's surely happened. The danger, the terror and horror, it surely happens, and they can't complain about anything. They are prohibited to complain of anything. And then up all night keeping watch, and then as curfew ends. Now when the curfew ends, the people go to have some kind of happiness, some kind of enjoyment. So they are doing something merrymaking activities actually. I sent Padmini and girls to a neighbor's house. Padmini means the wife of this person, and he is sending Padmini and girls, that means his daughters, to a safer place. Neighbor's house is a safer place maybe. Who? Me. Then she questions about himself, because what is happening to him? Oh, I'm doing fine. I always was a drinking man, and nowadays he has a kind of, there are some restrictions for him to enjoy his life. Drinking man, he's some kind of a jolly good man, so he has to stop, he has to restrict, he has to decrease the level of fun that he is taking due to this ethnic clashes, this violation. I'm stepping up my intake quite a bit, and general idea being those tortures come within 50 feet of this house. Don't you see, it won't be my books that go up first. The tortures represent, torture suggests horror and terror. The danger, the upcoming danger have been suggested through the tortures. And in this period of time, and you can see here the word dim means they are under darkness. And they have to bear up everything. Curfew is there for all the time, and there is no solace for them. They are undergoing a terrible condition due to this destruction, because they don't know at what time these mobs come to them and destroy their lives. Then you can see there is a very significant, and it's a kind of emotional situation. He says, now within 50 feet of this house, don't you see, it won't be my books. I would go for that. He says that he even sacrificed his life to save his books. So now from this stanza you can see this person should be a middle-aged person, because he is using the word old, and he has a wife and daughters. So this person should be a middle-aged man, and he always signifies the word books. It is also stands as a symbol. Books represents knowledge, humanity, wisdom, and civilization. he is a civilized man with lot of humanity. That's why he knows the value of books. Books are precious for him. That's why he's gonna safeguard his books than himself. So there is also contrast, because though he knows the value, this person knows the values of the books, those mobs, those destructive mobs don't know the value or the value of these precious books. So this person seems to be an educated person, and the poetess wants to tell that those people are educated with a respectable family background, and now they have to live in danger. They have lived generations with peace and harmony, but now they have to undergo a pathetic condition due to this ethnic conflict. Well, moving on to the next stanza, a pause, then steady and every bit as clear as though we are neighbors still as we had been in 58. Thanks, by the way, for ringing. There's nothing you can do to help us, but it's good to know some lines haven't yet been cut. Now this stanza has been reported as like a postscript, and it captures the spirit, and it's with polite speech. You can see the word thanks. It's polite speech. The courteous language have been used, and it's somewhat sarcastic, because he says that even in 58 we were neighbors and we could help each other, but now we are helpless with each other, because maybe these neighbors might be from two different ethnic groups, but they were neighbors at that time and now as well, and but they cannot help each other though they are friends, because they can't stop violence as they are too threatened by it. And the speaker may be from a minority ethnic group, because that's why he has been threatened more. So the neighbor's place is safer place for him, because so we can guess that this individual should be from a minority ethnic group, because the minority has been hunted in this ethnic clash, and he knows his fate. Because he is from a minor ethnic group, and but it is sarcastic, because he says it's good to know that some lines haven't yet been cut, because the telephone has rung, and on the other hand, the hidden meaning is some relationships are still there with them. Though the ethnic clashes have blown up in the country, the neighborhood is still precious for them. It's still... Well, let me go with the final stanza, the last stanza of the poem. Out of the Palmyra fences of Jaffna bristle 100 guns. Shop fronts in the Petah, landmarks of our childhood, curl like old photographs in the flames. Blood on their khaki uniforms, 3 boys lie dying. A crowd looks silently the other way. Near the wheels of his smashed bicycle, at the corner of Duplication Road, a child lies dead, and 2 policemen look the other way as a stout man, sweating with fear, falls to his knees beneath a bow tree in a shower sticks shower of sticks and stones flung by his neighbor's hands. The boys of childhood, friendships of our youth, ravaged by pieties and politics, screaming across our screens her agony at last exposed, Sri Lanka burns alive. Well, the poetess has created this stanza, the last stanza. She sums up the stanza as an incident in a bloody close because she visualizes the images of violence in this stanza. So, out of the Palmyra fences of Jaffna, from these Palmyra fences, how the northern area of the country have affected with ethnic violence, and then shop fronts of in the Peta and Duplication Road. It is how the capital of the city, Colombo, has been attacked due to this ethnic violence. So you can see this is like the violence have been prevailing like a monster both in north and south. Here Peta, it is south. So it's like a monster, and she draws some images from this. So the poetess deliberately generalizes to suggest violence consumes all. We'll see how she does that. Curl like all photographs in the flame. Childhood. Mostly the children and the youth were affected by this racial violence. And even the blood in khaki uniforms, even the security forces have been affected by this. They have been killed and wounded. 3 boys lie dying. A crowd looks silently the other way. They cannot do anything else. They are just looking the other way. The crowd looks silently the other way. So this means they are helpless, and nobody can help them. They are just helpless. That's why they look silently the other way. Everyone had to be silent at this period of time. And near the wheels of a smashed bicycle, another child lies dead. This is really emotional. The 2 policemen, the stout means some kind of a somewhat fat man, sweating with fear. Even the policemen sweating with fear, because they have been affected greatly as well. Everybody has been threatened. Everybody has been threatened. Everybody has been threatened by this violence. Well, then beneath the bo tree signifies the religion, the Buddhists. Neighbor's hands, and this is really emotional. The joys of childhood, friendships of our youth, ravaged by pieties and politics. Piety means the quality of being pious. So this is really, the last 4 lines are really emotional. Screaming across our agony, at last exposed, Sri Lanka burns alive. See how critical the condition is. Here now the bo tree we can say take as a symbol of Lord Buddha's enlightenment to save the people, and but there is no choice for the people yet. So the whole nation, now you can see north and south, the poetess has visualized the images, the violent images from both north and south. So the whole nation has been divided according to their ethnicity, religion and caste, and it was highly influenced by youth and children, because they even cannot promote their childhood experiences and the friendships. They are not allowed to experience them. So under these circumstances, the joys of childhood and the friendship of the youth are contaminated by ethnic and religious gaps, and the whole country burns alive. This is something very emotional, because there are flames of ethnic clashes all over the country. This is a critical, pathetic condition in the country. And so the poetess generates the theme here. It's conflict and racial violence. So Sri Lanka has been invaded by this racial violence at this period of time. It was 1983, and the poetess Jasmine Gunaratna has been analyzed the poem, drawing the attention of the readers towards this critical period of time in Sri Lanka. So the poetess highlights the insensitivity of man, because you can see how the people have been attacked, they have been died, they have been killed. So in the meanwhile, the media also criticized, because you can remember in the first stanza, she directly accuses the media for being irresponsible, and because they exaggerate and sensationalize the clashes, because they are taking advantages out of that. But all these things have been affected by the ordinary civilians, though whatever the community, the ethnic group they belong to, they have all the people have been attacked. That's why the poetess says Sri Lanka burns alive. This is really critical condition. So but there was no attempt to quench and control this bloodshed violence at this period of time, because everybody has been threatened. Even the policemen, the security forces, they have been threatened by this period. So the theme is racial violence and the racial clashes, the ethnic clashes. So I will be discussing the themes and the techniques of the poem separately. I think you have got a slight understanding about this poem, because this is very familiar to us. Though we have not experienced it firsthand, we have heard so many stories about Black July and its effects. So this is something familiar for us, so I think you can understand it well. So I will be coming up with themes and techniques in my next videos. So Thank you everyone for watching.